iko clear. Hey. Baada ona live, nimeka live. Oh, angalia malema, angalia. Anasema ulikuwa watoto. Ndio kwa hivi. Mama wewe na bure. Mama wewe na bure. Sasa nilikuwa na video file.
Unaona tu venye unajivunia hapa na
Mimi napiga like you want to address us? You want to address? Toka ndio huyo president. Huyo president nyuma yako ndio.
hizi piga tu. Nikupigia na shots. Nikupigia.
Ni. Menda live. Oh, sorry. Eh.
Hayo. Nitabaga 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. Yo light up with na rudi Unaweza kuna chaja iPhone?
Niko mbali.
Mbali sana.
Tanishikia hii. Jiko live. Okay.
Nimedhani hii ni 15 Pro.
Unaniona hapa? Wapi? Ni clear. Anda sana. Karibu, pole bana. Tuna inchi inaugua. Weki sana. Hey bro.
Yes sir.
Hey.
Uko salama?
Kapo idumbi. Anawanya inaswaga.
Wow. YouTube ama FB?
Ini Facebook.
Nice.
Iko clear. Je. Bado. Ona live. Nimeweka live. Nimeweka live. Oh, angalia Malema, angalia. Anasema ulikuwa watoto.
Yake kwa hivi.
Naona wenye nakuta. Naona wenye nakuta.
Sasa nilikuwa na video file.
Against all forms of harm, I hereby put on notice the planners, financiers, orchestrators, and abettors of violence and anarchy that the security infrastructure established to protect our republic and its sovereignty will be deployed to secure the country and restore normalcy. It is not in order or even conceivable that criminals pretending to be peaceful protesters can rain terror against the people, their elected representatives, and the institutions established under our Constitution and expect to go scot-free. We must isolate crime from democratic expression and separate criminals from people exercising the freedom of expression and divergent opinion. I shall continue to lead a government that is fully committed to maintaining the integrity of our state, promoting the unity of our nation, and enhancing the peace and security of all citizens and their livelihoods. I am bound under sacred constitutional mandate to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution of Kenya, which declares that all sovereign power belongs to the people, and that this power shall be exercised only in accordance with the Constitution. The government will therefore uphold its constitutional mandate to secure our nation and its development, and shall treat every threat to national security and the integrity of our state as an existential danger to our republic. Accordingly, I assure Kenyans that we shall provide a full, effective, and expeditious response to today's treasonous events. Thank you.
That is President William Ruto in his State of the Nation address that started just a few minutes ago. Just from where he ends, he says that today's events were treasonous, and he has assured the country that his government will mobilize all resources to make sure that the situation of this nature will never occur again.
Attack on its democracy, rule of law, and the integrity of its constitutional institutions. An otherwise legitimate expression of the fundamental rights and freedoms of assembly, demonstration, picketing, and petitioning of public authorities by a section of law-abiding citizens of the Republic of Kenya was infiltrated and hijacked by a group of organized criminals. Most regrettably, today's attack on Kenya's constitutional order has resulted in the loss of lives, also destruction of property and desecration of institutions and emblems of our sovereignty. Today's events mark a critical turning point on how we respond to grave threats to our national security. Duty today, the organs of our national security to deploy measures to thwart any attempt by dangerous criminals to undermine the security and stability of our country. As the people of Kenya go to bed tonight, I give you my assurance that your security, that of your families and property, remains my utmost priority. To the young people of Kenya, who I must thank for helping our country organize our democratic discourse around issues, I thank you and assure you that the conversation you have begun around pertinent issues of our nation will continue to inform our policy and governance decisions. As I promised on Sunday, this conversation will not be in vain. I will not only champion for the cause of issue-based, policy-oriented, and tribeless engagement on critical national issues, but also provide a framework for this conversation to be processed and its outcomes implemented. However, our national conversation on any subject matter must be conducted in a manner that respects and honors the foundational values upon which our nation is established, namely constitutionalism, the rule of law, and respect for institutions. It is very painful for Kenya that a conversation this crucial was hijacked by dangerous people who have caused us the kind of loss we have incurred as a nation today. It is possible that the criminals who rained terror on innocent people and attempted to challenge our law enforcement deployments are still determined to continue with their dangerous behavior. I assure the nation of the government's determination to fulfill its constitutional duty of protecting the people of Kenya against all forms of harm, I hereby put on notice the planners, financiers, orchestrators, and abettors of violence and anarchy that the security infrastructure established to protect our republic and its sovereignty will be deployed to secure the country and restore normalcy. It is not in order or even conceivable that criminals pretending to be peaceful protesters can rain terror against the people, their elected representatives, and the institutions established under our Constitution and expect to go scot-free. We must isolate crime from democratic expression and separate criminals from people exercising the freedom of expression and divergent opinion. I shall continue to lead a government that is fully committed to maintaining the integrity of our state, promoting the unity of our nation, and enhancing the peace and security of all citizens and their livelihoods. I am bound under sacred constitutional mandate to respect, uphold, and defend the Constitution of Kenya, which declares that all sovereign power belongs to the people, and that this power shall be exercised only in accordance with the Constitution. The government will therefore uphold its constitutional mandate to secure our nation and its development, and shall treat every threat to national security and the integrity of our state as an existential danger to our republic. Accordingly, I assure Kenyans that we shall provide a full, effective, and expeditious response to today's treasonous events. Thank you.
Nairobi, Kenya, saying that today's events marking a significant turning point going forward on how security issues will be handled by his government. The president indicating that the government, following the incident today, will put in place measures to avoid recurrence of such incidents. He went ahead to say that all organs of the national security have been deployed to check the agents that are undermining the security of the nation, saying that he has assured Kenyans that even as they go to bed tonight, he has assured Kenyans that their security is intact. The president also indicating that he is grateful to the youth for taking a stand, and that he's assuring that the government will not look the other way, but instead will have conversations with that youthful demographic around issues based on policies with the non-tribal angles in those conversations. But he went ahead to say that those conversations must be undertaken under the framework of the rule of law, noting that it was unfortunate that the protests were hijacked by dangerous elements. He went ahead to say that he has put on notice those who are hell-bent on raining terror against the people, and that their days are numbered. Of course, the president concluding thereby saying that the government will find solutions to what he termed as today's treasonable events. Now, earlier on, after running battles in Nairobi Central Business District, police were overwhelmed by the protesters who broke all barriers leading to Parliament, broke the perimeter wall, and gained entry into the precincts of Parliament. The protesters trashed parts of the building, compromised the National Assembly chambers, and sent lawmakers scampering for safety. Give Us on Maina opens our coverage tonight, following the address by the President with this report that happened earlier on.
Tuesday in Nairobi Central Business District. Business District.
The ultimate AI voiceover for video creators. Explore voices exclusive to Artlist in the voice catalog. Find the perfect voice for your video. Put your text into the box. Customize your voiceover to match your vision. Generate, listen, and download. Go to Artlist and start creating without limits.
Hey, my name is Frida, a wife and a mother of 3. I've worked in the corporate sector for...
And welcome back to Jeff Kanange live here in the studio on a packed bench following Mandamano Tuesday. On the far end, Shadrach Kiprono, right next to him, 1010, right next to her, Boniface Mwangi, right next to him, Honorable Babu Owino, and sitting right next to me, Senior Counsel Paul Mwangi. We're talking about the way forward. Gen Zs have woken up a nation. Sort of like Arab Spring, I call it African winter. You may disagree or agree, it's up to you. Babu Owino, let me ask you this real quick. Yes. Got a message from Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah.
Yes.
He said, in all the years, you've been in the budget committee for how long? 2 years now? About 2 years?
Yes.
Maybe more?
1.5 years.
1.5 years.
Yes.
You have not written a single minority report, that's what he's saying. And you're talking about minority reports.
Jeff, let me be honest with you, that because it is now coming from a majority leader, that is in Kenya Kwanza government, he will not tell you that we write the minority reports. We have written several minority reports every other time for the 2 past financial years. Even this budget, we wrote a minority report disagreeing with certain items. For example, the issue of the renovation of the Deputy President's house. We say that this money is budgeted corruption. And we say that we cannot subscribe to it, we cannot assent to it, and we cannot be part of it. And because he's in Kenya Kwanza, he can write anything. And I want to tell you, Jeff, that anytime we make the budget making process, and we are there, we disagree almost with everything except matters development. Kimani Ichung'wah himself, he had over 1.2 billion put for him in roads for Kikuyu constituency alone. Why didn't he remove that? But because we are the minority in the budget committee, If we raise the issue, they say that they are the majority. And it goes to Kimani Ichung'wah, who defends it spiritedly and also religiously on the floor of the House. And he has 1.2 billion. That is lack of, it is not equity, because that is development only on one side. So, Jeff, I want to tell you that people like Kimani Ichung'wah, before he became the majority leader, he was a very humble person.
Now?
Right now, this man's ego is bloated. This is a man who hides his ignorance in his loudness. Jeff, this is a man who's messing this country.
Look, he's not here to defend himself.
He's here impliedly. That's why he has already written you. Yes, so let me deal with him. Let me deal with him.
Let's keep the conversation.
Wanjiru, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Would you run for office? You see, you're thinking about it. It's taking 10 seconds.
I would.
You would?
I would.
Why? Seeing that the parliament is full of these people.
No. I come from Mathare constituency, and our member, Mathare constituency, and our member of parliament has failed us time and time again. For the last 10 years, I've been a human rights activist. We've been saying, where is our representative? When police are killing us, when floods are happening, when this is happening, even there isn't demolitions in Mathare. Mathare residents are sleeping outside after the floods, that is not the kind of leadership we want to see.
So you would
forward. I would run. And I think collectively as a generation, we have seen what not to look for in leadership from the current leadership that we have in country. Yeah. We've seen not to have members of parliament who cower under the presidency, who choose to say, I know I was elected by the people, but now I am in parliament, I obey the president. Those are very backward tendencies.
Do you think there's a certain fear factor of some of these MPs?
That they need to lose your fear. Ruto is just one man. Kenyans are in their millions. It's an easy pick. Lose your fear. Go with what the people are saying. If the people have said, listen, we don't want the finance bill, it's so easy to say, as a representative of the people, my people have rejected this finance bill, I therefore will vote no. What is the contention about it? What is so difficult about voting no for that finance? What will Ruto do to you? We hear that he's bribing members of parliament. Ara huko mashinani, tunasemanga, ula ganji, but tunajua kura ni kwa nani. I'm not saying that they should take bribes, but I am saying do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Yeah. Do the right thing. Yeah. It is so easy to do the right thing.
And just for my generation, ganji ni...
wait.
Ganji ni pesa.
I'm just checking, man. Just checking.
Just to be sure.
You know?
It could be ganja.
Yeah. It could be ganja.
Yeah.
But listen, Wanjiru, they say people change when they enter that house.
Correct.
Yeah.
People change.
Yeah, which is now the strategy that Gen Zs and millennials are coming with, that can we have an absolute overhaul so that we have new people that we can hold accountable.
Parliament.
Overhaul parliament.
All of it.
Pole Babu, but we actually
Why are you
need...
apologizing?
He's the only elected representative of the people here,
yes,
and we're talking about an absolute overhaul of the people's representative. It is because they have failed. It is because they have failed us time and time again. It's not that Kenyans are not seeing these things happening. It's not that we don't see the impunity, the corruption, the theft. We see it. It pains us, and the pain piles and piles until now we are like, okay, we are going to the streets, and there's no force under the earth that is going to stop us until we actually achieve our mission and objective.
Shadrach, would you run?
No.
You wouldn't run?
To answer that,
you're going to tell me another story.
Yes, I'm going to tell you another story. I'm a data scientist.
Yeah.
Let me brag about myself. There are very few people in this country who know data the way I do. I cannot run. I would not want to run. But once I find the strongest politician that I would like to work with, I will run his data and I will get him onto that seat.
Or her.
Him or her.
Yeah.
I swear is either now or 50 years from now, I will make a king. I will make a president using data.
But the people make up king and a president.
Not
data.
I'm talking about, you see, we say the people.
Yeah.
To me, one person is a number. What you call people, I call them data. I will use that data to send someone there.
But let me warn Shadrach that the only person who's going to crack it next time is someone who actually is really issue-based. Na sahi watu wamechanuka.
We will find that.
We had Ruto campaigning on hustler narrative. Bottom up, nini. So sahi watu wakorada, we are going to check your history.
But Wanjira, 2027 is far away, yeah?
No, it's not.
It's only 3 years
It could be sooner. It could be sooner. You've seen how they're using commercial because they know what they do to each other.
Yes.
Have you seen they're using commercial? They know anytime.
2027 is just 2 days.
Ni hapa tu. Na bado kuna hand of God.
Force majeure.
If you consider that it's a generation writing their own future, 3 years is nothing.
It's not a long
time. It's nothing.
Those 3 years.
Because you're talking about guys who are about 30, 25.
Actually, most of them are 18, 19 kids.
18, 19.
So if you take an average of 25,
young parliament,
they are talking about when they will be parents. They are talking about when they will be when they will be our age. They're talking about how they will live when they are 50. That's 30 years, 40 years from today. But they have to write that now.
The thing about, so these young people are saying, you want me to get a child and bring up in which country?
Exactly.
In which healthcare system?
How?
In which community?
Education
in which education system? So they're saying, we are fighting for what we want for our kids because our parents failed us.
Right.
They never fought for playgrounds. They never fought for public utilities. And so they're fighting for themselves and their unborn child. The majority of the people in the streets yesterday have no dependence.
And our generation is supporting. Did you see that tweet yesterday, or X, that said we're going to take our parents' IDs so that they
make good decisions. You know, one of the reasons why our generation is supporting them is because we don't know what to do, how to protect our children. Right. Until this happened, there was a despair. In fact, the biggest question was whether Ruto is going to change the constitution. And you know, and at some point it looked real. Yeah. Like it can happen. Yeah.
But now
our excitement is now we know it will never happen.
It will
never happen.
For sure. It will never happen.
Never say never.
No. Let him there. So we are excited to know that we don't have to worry about that.
Hapa hakuna muka wa Ruto. Hapa hakuna muka wa Ruto. You see?
Ichungu ako hapo kwa simu.
Listen, we are not, those young Kenyans are not Ruto's wives, they are not Ruto's employees, they don't care, they employ Ruto. Ruto works for them, they understand Ruto is their servant.
Exactly.
He's a public servant, he's an employee, he works for them. They understand that part about this conversation. They're telling Ruto, we have no healthcare, we have no education, there's no money, but you're giving your wife 1.3 billion shillings to do what?
Jeff, we should not even talk about changing the constitution.
It is outrageous.
So the thing is, we're going to hold Ruto accountable. And how do you know how we're doing that? Beyond Ruto, people are going even after his kids. They're telling him, by the way, we know what you own, where you live, what you do. And I love the transparency. Because Ruto wants to come to our pockets and into every part of our lives, but he wants to be untouchable. He's already in our pockets. And you know what? He's taking more than what we're giving him. He's robbing us, actually. He's a presidential robber.
Pickpocketing a naked person.
He's robbing us. He's robbing us to fund a life that we cannot afford.
It's true.
Let's have austerity measures. And finally, the last thing I want to say, we need a debt audit. We are being told we are paying debts. What are we paying for?
Those debts.
When these two guys came to office, they told us one thing. They got empty coffers, money was stolen. By who? If money was stolen, tell us who stole the money. Go after the thieves. Money was borrowed. Where was that money spent? They promised us a state capture commission. We don't even need that. Just do a debt audit, follow the money, we'll know where the money went.
Follow the money.
Unless the president, who was deputy president, he stole with Uhuru. Because walikuwa kitanda moja hivi. Unless they stole together. But if they never stole together, Uhuru and his people stole. Go after them. Not a single minister from the Uhuru regime has been taken to court about stealing from public coffers. So the thing is, Ruto asitufanye sisi ni watoto ama wajinga. He took up the Bible with Rigathi and they promised us they're going to find us the money where the money went. Aache kizungu mingi, achukue passport afiche ama chome. He stays in Kenya until he recovers the money. Recover the stolen money. Wache kizungu mingi.
Actually, I want to
and the devil, listen, Ruto anapenda kutuombea sana. Hatutaki maombi. The devil never stole from Kenyans. The devil is innocent. Hapa mnaekelea shetani. Mnaekelea shetani. Shetani ya kuiba.
The devil is scared of him.
And even God, God is just saying, the devils that you're talking about lives in this country. Wako hapa. Na skiza, shetani ana bank account. The devil has no bank account because the devil never stole. God has no bank account. Let us remove God and the devil from this conversation. We don't even want prayers.
Yeah.
Just go after the people who have stolen our money.
Hold on, Babu.
I was involved in when we were fighting about the Eurobond, and we did a lot of investigation about the Eurobond. I still believe today that a lot of that money was stolen.
Yeah.
And when we said that, we were told we were crazy. But within that time, it turned out that Malaysia had taken out a Eurobond, and the entire Eurobond was eaten.
What?
In Malaysia, the entire Eurobond.
Just like Kenya's then.
They ate it.
Entirely.
All of it.
All of it. And that has happened also. There's an African country also that was in Malawi that also had another, they called it, I think, a tuna bond. There are 3 countries where Eurobonds were taken and eaten entirely. Went into private accounts.
Babu, you want to say something? Hold on.
I agree that some things are supposed to be investigated.
Accounted for.
I can't believe that we don't.
I want to support Boni on the issue of debt accountability. From history, having a debt is not a problem. Taking loans is not a problem. And we have an economist called Franco Modigliani. He came up with a theory called the life cycle hypothesis under the theories of consumption. And he said that as we are, you can borrow money and develop yourself, get something that you can't get as at now, something that you ought to have enjoyed in 70 years' time, so long as you prepay for it. The problem that we have in Kenya is that we borrow money, we take loans, for 1, recurrent expenditure that does not bring development, and for 2, corruption. That money that we borrow, the people who borrow it steal that money. So you borrow your money and then you steal it. Number 3, for patrimonialism, to impress the keys of power, the people around Ruto. And therefore, those debts are called unproductive debts. So those debts, we end up paying them, and our generation, our children, will come and repay.
One children then will be paying, and children after that.
So it is not fair for us to take loans. Ruto has taken a lot of money up to now. So I wonder why the finance bill, taxes should be increased. And there's something that Ichungwa himself raised today in Parliament, and allow me to explain it, about imposing tax on imports.
The eco tax, the eco levy.
No, generally imports. Yeah. You know, Kenyans consume around 80% of imported goods because we are still not in a position to produce, to manufacture. We have 3 sectors, or three sectors in our economy. The first one is service. The service industry consists of the banking facility, insurance, education, and health, which contributes around 65% to the Kenyan economy. Then we have agriculture, which is the primary sector. Agriculture itself contributes 19%. Then we have the industries. Under industries, we have manufacturing taking 9% and construction. Total for manufacturing, 16%. So the only time that you are allowed to increase taxation on imports is when a country is able to sustain, to produce, to manufacture, to sustain the 55 million Kenyans. But before that, why would you increase taxes if you know that the production level for maize is low? It means that Kenyans will go and scramble for the maize that is available. Then after that, there will be no more supply. Then we will develop a demand for the imports. The moment we develop a demand for the imported goods, that burden of cost goes back to the common mwananchi, because that tax will be raised, so the cost of the commodities, the goods, will be raised. Therefore, Jeff, what the PR exercise that was done yesterday in State House is so clear. It is a strategy called the maneuver strategy or the decoy strategy. What does it show us? That bring all those bad things that we will remove eventually, so that Kenyans can fight about them viciously and spiritedly, and then hide the ones that you want to pass, like the imports. Then the moment Kenyans go on the street, then we remove the ones that we didn't want. And then we say, we have already helped you. Creating a problem, providing a solution.
That's what Boniface
so we
was saying.
still have a
Reject
big
the whole
problem.
thing.
Yeah.
Reject the whole
So
thing.
we have to reject in totality, and tomorrow we are voting.
Are we done?
Tomorrow we are voting at 2 p.m.
No.
And I will vote.
Magic wall.
I will vote. I will vote no.
Because we are not
See,
done.
what to say, we're not done with
We are
you.
not done.
I will vote no for that matter.
Orut Swasam says, it's good that our young people have realized our country is getting offline, and they have taken it upon themselves to ensure they are correcting the situation on time. Keep it on the future depends on you. Mend it now or never, okay? Mama K says, it is not a matter of sustaining demos. The train has already gained momentum and we ain't going back. Bunny, the train has left the station.
Yes, it does.
It has.
Does he know?
Good Barazawera says, I have 3 questions. One, ask Bonnie, does he in any way profit from the demos, as in donor facilitation? Answer that first.
Nothing, by the way.
Next.
How? I've been answering that question for 17 years.
I know.
Yeah.
Every time you come
Every
on the
time I come on
page.
show, I have to answer that question.
Yeah. Number 2, for Wanjira, is it true that her and the Gen Z group have derived their courage from many movies they watched to do the demo?
Absolutely not. We derived our courage from doing political education sessions to educate ourselves about what is going on, what we need to do, our history, and what is required of us as active citizens of this nation.
It's not Netflix.
No.
Okay, now question 3. Does Babu have blessings from Baba to support the demos?
Definitely, Jeff. Baba ni baba, na tunasema ni baba kwa sababu kama kuna tabu ana jawabu la ajabu kwa adabu. So we have 101%.
Watch a Baba. Aitwe
Baba.
Engineer Lazario says, time is ripe for generational change. Old guards like Agwambo should now rest and see how young patriotic youth carry on with their legacies. You agree, Babu, you agree?
Baba is still, you know, the ideology that is in Baba, that is the most important thing.
Okay,
so if we need his idea in it,
you ask.
We want him.
Bonnie?
He's a legend, he's a mentor. He has a role in this struggle as a mentor and many other things.
Yeah.
But the leadership of this movement should be left to the people who are going to be alive in the next 10 years.
Wanjira?
I completely agree that Baba has done his bit for the nation, but it's time for Baba to rest.
Shadrach?
I agree. It's time for Baba to rest. Let the kids lead.
Paul, you were with Baba in 1990. What do you think?
You know, this is his legacy. If Baba had not done this legacy of protests,
he would not be here.
We would not be here.
And we totally agree. We don't dispute that.
Yes, and I don't think he has given any indication that he wants to interfere with this.
Right.
And he knows that he's the one who set the stage for them. I think he's happy to see them do
And
this.
if he ends up in Addis, he knows that he left a good thing. I mean, things are okay.
And even
I'm sure he must be
yesterday he said that he's very proud, right?
He's very proud.
Yesterday he said that he's
He's a
very
very
proud.
proud father.
Yes.
But again, because of the experience and serious ideologies, we still need to borrow something from Baba.
And you know what
I
you
think
need?
the major thing we can take from Baba is the ideology.
Yes.
Can we learn the ideology? He named his son
Fidel Castro.
Can we learn about Fidel Castro? Can we
Yes.
learn about Marx? Can we learn about Thomas Sankara? Can we learn about the great leaders of Africa and emulate them?
Absolutely.
Jeff, can I read that? That's my brother.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay, so read it. Go ahead. What's his name first? What's his name?
Weldon Caliph.
Okay.
That is my brother.
Uh-huh.
Let the opposition MPs not take credit of what is happening. Once they do it, it will become a political game. Thank you.
So we talked about that, right?
Yes.
Wanjira, are you listening?
I am listening.
Nyantika Chester says, if yesterday and today's demos is anything to go by, then the message has been delivered and the writing is on the wall. Ignore the masses at your own peril.
On
Bonnie?
I agree with that. So yesterday when people were arrested beyond the streets, the police are very friendly.
Oh.
Yeah, because they're suffering. They're suffering. And the president should never forget who protects him, the same police officers. And they see the wastage among his ministers. They see the wastage among civil servants, people in various offices that they give escort to. So the anger is not only in us, it's in everyone. We're paying for a house in front that you're not going to get those houses. Officers were telling me today, ambia president, hizi nyumba anajengea watu tupatie sisi tunaishi kwa nyumba za mabati.
Exactly. Wanakwambia wewe. And you spent the night in the...
And kuna mtu, by the way, there's one cop aliendanga hospital, Nairobi Hospital, akaambiwa pesa yake hiyo tosha kwa sababu ya the medical care undercover. Na kwa nafanya kazi status. Akasema mjinga ambaye anachunga hapa, bibi yangu hizi naweza mpiga risasi. That's a cop saying that. So the president should know that the people who protect him are not well paid. Do you know where they eat lunch? There's a place called Migingo near Status. Ni place Mabati.
I know Migingo.
That's where we eat lunch. And do you know who eats lunch? There are people who protect the president.
And they go back to Paul. You
Gen Z cuts across. You know, when the lawyers went to the police station, and even today when they went to court, it was a whole Gen Z crop of lawyers.
Lawyers.
Gen Z has taken over the law society entirely. I don't think anybody who is even the age of 40 can get anywhere near the law society today. So and that was going to cut across in the police. It's going to cut across in the military. The Gen Z is everywhere.
You should be very afraid.
Yes.
Like a virus.
Be very afraid. Jeff, in fact, the masses should be ignored at the peril of government.
Yes.
Why? Because, Jeff, the masses spoke yesterday. They've been speaking before, but yesterday
they spoke.
Was the optimum point of it. And I want to also appeal to the police, Jeff. Tomorrow, there will be demonstration. The police job is to keep law and order, to maintain law and order. Yesterday, I went to Nairobi West Hospital to visit a police officer who's lost both the hands as a result of the tear gas.
Both are gone.
Both are gone. And you know what, Jeff? These people, they have been sent by the draconian government. They are being forced into it. The police should keep off. They should maintain law and order. They should not beat people. They should not use force. And that's all.
Absolutely. Frank says these so-called Gen Z protests are just urban-based. We have seen political rallies in the countryside are usually full of people, including teens, waiting for handouts. It is unsustainable, and Kenyans will be back to voting along tribal lines come 2027. Wanjira, we disagree.
So, hey, let me tell you, if there's something that has died with Gen Z and millennials, it is tribalism. We do not subscribe.